Alright, alright boys, it is your clan leader, DeBoy here, going through a couple different attack tutorials, just so you guys get an idea of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about 2 3-finger drops, what kind of attack you should be doing for a consistent 2-star, versus when we start looking at getting people comfortable with 3-star attacks on lower Town Hall 9s. Some of the thought processes that should go in to getting those attacks done. So what we're going to do is we're just going to look at a couple different attacks here on Bottom Feeder, OP. You know, he's a champ all the way down here on the bottom. I won't ask for any donations right now, so I can't donate, but I would if I could. So we're in flying colors there. But the first one that we're going to talk about is the GoWiWi. And I prefer the GoWiWi over the GoWipe. I'm sure you guys know that, but it kind of is the same thing, same strategy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to open up, Chips has been doing a really good job lately, and I've been working with him and trying to get him to do a little bit better with his GoWiWis. He's got a 3-star there. I'm going to look at his 2-star because this is a 2-star attack. If you get 3 stars, great. I mean, obviously we're looking for it. But I think this was a really good attack by Chip, and I want to take a look at it. So before we even go, when you take a look at a base like this, you wanna understand your golem pathing, because golem pathing is really really important when you're going to do a GoWiWi. You know, where are your golems going to go, how are they going to move, and where is your DPS going to go, and how is your DPS going to move, and that really just makes or breaks makes or breaks an attack. So what we can see here, and I'll switch to my pen, is Chip is going to drop a golem here, a golem here, and a golem here. So he's sort of spread out, but not too spread out, where this golem's going to come here, this golem's going to come here, and this golem's going to come here, and all of these defenses right here are going to be latched on to the golems. So at that point, then he can drop wizards. He can drop his first wave of wizards to start clearing out this garbage. This is what I call like the garbage buildings, or the whatever buildings. You want to clear those out because you want your main forces to go to where you want them to go. And if you have all this garbage crap out on the sides, it's going to be harder for you to drop your main stuff and get them going in. So now that we, once you drop your wizards down and they're starting to clear, you got your DPS going, that's when you're going to drop your wall breakers. And there are some things that I saw with Chip's wall breakers that I will point out. But then you want your wall breakers to come in here, pop open that, and then they're going to run, pop open this one, right? And then, Chip's got a jump spell so he can jump over here, or maybe get a little bit lucky on where his wall breakers go if they maybe get to this 3rd layer. And then I think he ends up jumping over that final layer, which is good. Okay, so once the wall breakers open up that path, the golems are going to start running into the path. Your wizards should take out these garbage buildings. As soon as your main forces have that drop zone to go towards the middle, that's when you want to drop the heroes. So you can drop king plus queen plus witches, right? So much typing. And that's where you follow them in towards the middle. And then pow, right in the kisser. You're going for that 2-star. Okay, so that's theoretically the plan. So let's go ahead and take a look at what Chip does here. And you'll see he drops those 3 golems, which is great, getting his big one in the middle. He's going to drop his first wave of wizards. If I had any suggestions here, it would be to try to pinpoint. Now I can't do it on a computer, but you can 2 fingers and have like 1 finger here, 1 finger here, and you can drop 2 wizards at the same time. So not only does that get your wizards out quicker, right? it also pinpoints what buildings they're going to go after. So here he could have two-finger dropped on those buildings, two-finger dropped on those buildings, two-finger dropped on those buildings, had one over here for this building, had one over here for this building, and really taken care of those garbage buildings. But this isn't bad, right? So he's got his wizards going. Now he's got his wall breakers. Now this is the thing I was going to point out, is you really want your wall breakers to help drive to the middle. And he kind of, you can watch these wall breakers, he kind of drops a couple at a time, which is great, because, you know, mortars, you know, flying off, and wizard towers can snipe him. But he kind of spreads his wall breakers out, and that's where he gets into a little bit of trouble, is you got to remember that wall breaker logic is wall breaker logic, right? So if you blow up this section right here, and then you continue to drop from this point right here, this point where you want them to go is much farther away than either this side or this side. So either you need to change the way you come and come from more of this angle, and you know, so maybe you come with most of your forces like this, and that way you can drop your wall breakers here, and then when you drop them again, they're going to be like, oh, well, where's the next closest thing that we want to go to that's actually relevant? You know, if you drop your next wall breaker right here where this wizard is, and he sees that this is open, is this closer? Or is this closer right here? And this is probably closer, you know, obviously with triangles and shit like that. So that's what I'm saying, is you got to think about the logic, and you got to, you know, you've played the game enough where you know, it's probably going to do this, or it's probably going to do that. So if you watch these wall breakers, he kind of lets them go, and then he'll drop a next wave, and he drops them from this kind of same point, and look at them, just, they're all over the place. The AI is whatever. But what he's got here now is he's got this first layer of garbage gone. Okay, he's got the path open, and now we're gonna see him start dropping his heroes, his wizards, his witches, and you know, it's a little bit quicker than I would drop. I mean, he's just kind of like, let it rip. But it's still better, you know, than what we've been seeing. Okay, so now usually we don't want to, you know, GoWiWis. You don't really need to pull the CC. So this is fine. He's got the CC coming, but if you are going to get the CC like this, you need to drop a heal spell down. And that's what Chips does. As soon as the CC gets there, he's going to drop the heal spell, keep his stuff healed. He's going to drop a rage spell right here. He's got a ton of troops. It's unfortunate that the troops didn't follow this golem. This would have been 100%. If he would have had two separate waves going, he's got one on the top side, he could have had one on the bottom side. A little unfortunate, but that's logic. You see he drops this jump spell here, which is great. A couple unfortunate big bombs are going to snipe some of these wizards. He's going to run out of tanks up here. All this DPS is going to die. But you can see how it's already 50%. And all it is just a very easy 2 or 3 wave thing. First wave is golems, followed by 8 wizards, followed by wall breakers. As soon as the wall breakers open it up, the golems are going to go in. They're going to continue to soak up damage. Those wizards are going to get rid of that garbage layer, and then you can start dropping your main force to get behind them and really take it to another level. Okay, so that's that first. The first wave is the first 3 golems, first wave wizards, wall breakers. Once the way is open, once the garbage layers are down, that's the second wave and third wave if you want to do it in a couple different waves where you're really adding that DPS that's going to follow your tanky golems and really get there. So this was a really good attack by Chip. Like I said, a little bit unlucky. He had the one golem off doing its own thing. He didn't have any DPS following, and he got pretty far with this. So this is a great attack by Chip, and he's doing a really good job right now, understanding the GoWiWi a little better and really trying to work on getting consistent 2 stars, which is what we strive for when we do that attack. So I'm going to show. And I don't want to be conceited or anything, but I'm going to show my attack from this last war, because I feel like I can explain it better if I just show some of the stuff that I've been talking about. So, okay, so we look at this base, and the walls are beastly. These are Floyd type walls up here with these lavas, full Legos otherwise. Kind of annoying, and my cats are fighting. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but the first question I ask myself when I look at this base is, how the hell am I going to get 2 stars? He's got max Town Hall 9 defenses. His heroes 13, 14. They're not max, but they're still pretty potent. But, you know, I always look to attack from faces. So if I look at this bottom side, and if I spread my golems out and I break them in, I have no idea which way my golems are going. Some are going to go down here and just continue to follow this huge thing here. Some are going to go up here and then get stuck up here. And then, you know, like, what do I do? So I didn't really like any of the bottom. But if I come in here, I can wall break this section. You're right. Get the golems to come here, 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 here. And then they're stalled. And as soon as they start moving here, then I can wall break this section right here. And then that'll get them into this next layer. And by then I can just jump over for that final push towards the CC. So what you're going to see here then is, you know, golem here, golem here, golem here. You're going to see wizards outside each one of these buildings because I want that garbage down as soon as possible. And I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I throw like 2 more wizards down kind of in the middle to help start picking off the wizard tower. And then we're looking at wall breakers. And I took 12 here because I want those out. I didn't want them to die. So we're looking at wall breakers here, and then we're going to jump into this final section to get to the town hall, to get to that 2-star. So once the way is open, you'll see kings, queens, witches, wizards, more wizards placed at time intervals, and trying to keep everything going center, to keep things from going awry. Now I think in this attack I actually did a bad job of cleaning out the garbage. I think the way I dropped my queen, I don't know where I did, but my queen latched on, I think, to this building right here. So as soon as I drop my queen, I think you're going to see it run off instead of coming towards the middle. And that's a you know, a couple reasons why that happened. One, this building is there. It probably shouldn't have been there. I don't know if I could have cleared it. I mean, I might have been able to drop a wizard like right here to help clear it. 2, it might have been a slow drop. As soon as that way is open and these 2 buildings are exposed and these are gone, if you drop everything, they're going to want to come to these buildings. And then by the time they get to these buildings, the next closest building should be on the inside. 3, I might have just pushed it too far up here when I should have pushed it more down here where I would have seen some of these buildings. So a little frustrating, but I still was able to get the 2-star. So let's take a look at this attack. Oh, I have to switch to this. Okay. So we drop the golems down. You can see, like, I placed the wizards down very quickly. Those are 2-finger drops, and I want to get my DPS out ASAP because I do not want my golems taking unreasonable damage. I drop a bunch of wall breakers, get to that section. Now this doesn't open up the section I want, but that one extra one does get there. Try to get this wall breaker in there. He's there. And you can see this hero kind of runs up here. I should have dropped him a little bit more down here, but it ends up working out okay. At this point, I drop my rage spell because I've got all this DPS here that I want to start doing work. As soon as the CC gets to me, I drop my heal spell down. I'm keeping things healed. My queen is up here on top, but most of my forces now are in this, and you can see I'm slowly placing stuff because I want to try to make sure they go towards the middle. I got the jump spell up. King is going to latch onto the queen. The rage spell is to make sure that everything in the middle dies. You don't want to miss out on the abilities. You want to keep an eye on both abilities. Even if you're doing stuff in the middle and your queen's elsewhere, or your king's elsewhere, you want to make sure you latch onto those abilities. So at this point, I got the 2-star. Wasn't really looking for a 3-star on this attack. So we're okay there. But again, just looking for a consistent 2-star. And I mean, you can see the attack, it just runs out of tank damage. They got all these very high-powered defenses choking down on the defensive guys that just no matter. I might have been able to poke off a little bit more damage, but my queen dies 1 shot too early, and that's pretty much all she wrote. So things that we're looking for when we do GoWis, and I'll wrap up the GoWi section here. GoWis should be drop order. Golems, first wave of DPS, so your wizards, clear out those junk buildings, and then wall breakers. After that first wave, once the pathway is open, then you drop witches, then you drop P.E.K.K.A.s if you're going to play with the P.E.K.K.A.s. You drop your king, your queen, you get all that going, and you can stagger the drops a little bit. The reason I stagger is because there was a war where I didn't stagger, and there was a double big bomb that sniped all of my wizards, and I don't think I got a star. That was one of the only times I've GoWiWi'd and not gotten a star because I lost all my DPS because everything just everything just got chunked by big bombs. So I try to stagger it a little bit so I don't fall to that kind of thing. But so that is the GoWiWi. So when I'm talking about consistent 2-star GoWiWi attacks, that's what we want to be looking at. So on the converse side, and I'm not trying to pick on anybody. I just want to do it for a learning sense. This is what we're talking about when what we don't want to do. So if you're looking at this base, you're trying to look at entry points and how are you going to get to the middle of the base? How are you going to get the town hall? And where are your golems going to go? And you don't want to spread them too far out, but at the same time you don't want to be too narrow, because if you're too narrow, then you start these outside these all right. So these ones right here, if your golems are not far enough wide, all of a sudden these ones that should be tanking or should be hitting your golems aren't hitting your golems. They're hitting your DPS, and you're losing DPS for free, really. So let's take a look at and this is Jordan's attack, and it was a 1-star. It was just a little short. So the one thing that Jordan does here is he does a CC pull, and I'm meh about it. I think level 2 hogs, I think you're wasting 15 space here to begin with. You're just throwing 15 space away to get the pull, when usually one of the first things in on the pull that's going to catch the attention is a golem, and you want your golem to be taking the damage anyway. And so what's the difference between pulling or what Jordan does here, which is he's going to, or not pulling, and then what Jordan does here, which is pulling. So he gets some of it. I don't think that's all of it either. And then what does he do? He just pulls it out. And then he drops the golems down to take the damage anyway. So there's really, if you're going to do it that way, there's really no point, right? Because your golems are going to take the damage anyway. The only thing that you really have is like, okay, well, I can drop a couple wizards here to help out. Well, you haven't clumped them, so what you needed to do if you were going to do that is clump them, spend the time to clump them, and then you could throw your golems down, a couple wizards, and then 2 wizard blasts are all dead. But again, what you're doing there is you're throwing the 15 CC away just to pull it, and not even get a full pull. Second, you're throwing all those archers away. And then, if things go correctly, then you're solid. But if they don't go correctly, then you're still screwed, right? Like you're still in rough shape. So that's why I tend to not even worry about the pull. It's gonna latch onto the golems most likely anyway, and you're gonna have such a death ball rolling that the shit should just melt at that point anyway. And that's why I dropped that first heal spell down. I mean, you're healing everything up. Your golems aren't really taking damage. You're stalled for about 3 or 4 seconds while you clear the CC troops, and you're not losing a whole bunch of momentum because it's all in that heal spell. So we take a look here. So he drops them down. Now this is what I'm talking about being like really wide. Now look how wide these golems are. They're going to be taking a lot of damage, and where are you going to be opening up? Where are you going to be opening up the path to the middle? If you're trying to come to the middle, then this golem should have been placed here to go out here. This golem should have been placed. That was a fine placement. It's coming here. But, I mean, I don't like attacking at angles because how are you going to wall break here? If you drop your wall breaker here, is this the closest spot? And if it isn't, then you're breaking open this section or this section if you don't pinpoint it just perfectly. This is why I really like attacking faces and really drawing the lines to the CC. You got this mortar out here. So you could have dropped one here. and then a golem here and a golem here, and then just worked on this face. Or you could have dropped golem here, golem here, golem here, and worked on this face. And then, I mean, you don't have any jump spells, but it should be a pretty easy shot right to the middle here. Nonetheless, so he spreads out the golems, and he trips up a Tesla, which is really annoying. I mean, it's hard to possibly see that there. I mean, you think, okay, what are we looking at? 1, 2, maybe 4 all around here. So I mean, you can't blame Jordan for having his first attack on 4 and not knowing that the Tesla was there. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But you can see, like, look how much damage that this golem has taken. So you got the pull, you wasted 15 CC, and this golem is pretty much nuked already. So you're already starting the main fight without one of your golems. On top of that, look at the spread that he had with his wizards. Now, because the golems aren't taking damage, this cannon's firing. You have this mortar and this cannon firing. You got this one's dead here. You got one dead here. You got more dead. So we're just wasting. At that point, we're just wasting wizards and DPS. And now you can see all of his DPS is down. So now he's just hoping, because he hasn't opened up anything yet, and he hasn't really secured a way to the CC. I'm sorry, to the town hall. You're in rough shape. You've got no DPS to start playing around with to try to straighten things out or whatever. So we're going to see how this plays out. He's got everything clumped here, and now he's got to hope that they go to the same place. And you can see now what he's opened up 2 wall breakers, 1 on each side, and now you're really spreading your DPS thin. You need to be getting to the center. How are you going to get to the center when you're opening up all these sides? You got witches taking damage now because you're coming in from a weird angle. You finally get the golems to the middle, but where's your DPS? They're all dead because, you know, everything was dropped before there was an entry point to get your ball rolling towards the middle. So he drops another wizard, but, I mean, you can't really drop it and expect the wizard to go where you want. The healing spell tries to keep things alive. You know, he might have been able to stay in there as long as possible if he can keep that queen alive, but he's got so many things shooting at the queen at this point. The 3 Teslas are just pinching him down. And that's really all she wrote at that point. The tanks can only tank so much damage, and when they get out of the way, you know, you got other DPS already firing on your stuff. And the archer towers with their recent upgrades are just going to blow through your troops. So that's the difference that I'm talking about. And again, not to pick on Jordan, but these are the differences that if you want to start seeing more consistent GoWiWis and stuff like that, and I would get rid of the P.E.K.K.A. altogether. I think the P.E.K.K.A. is garbage. Some people like it, but I don't think they're really reliable. If you want to see more consistent 2-stars, figure out a face. Okay, once you find the face, where are your golems going to go? How are you going to get your golems and your main force to go to the middle? What can you do to get them there? How about my drop order? Am I spreading my golems out enough but not too much where I can't get them all to converge and get together? You know, how am I getting my DPS and all my wizards, witches, everything, my king, queen, to go to where I want them? And how do I keep them alive? And this attack just kind of shows, okay, we're wasting troops here. We're wasting a golem because we pulled the troops, we didn't take care of them, we didn't clump them, and they're all just taking damage. And those are the small differences on how we're going to get better with these attacks. Is you really need to start planning out, how am I going to do this? What can I do to make this attack better? How can I consistently just get 2-stars? Even against really tough bases with really high walls, how can I get past that and still secure 2-stars for our clan in the war? So that is the GoWiWi tutorial, as it were. Just a little bit different strategies that I think about, and I think that, you know, it's consistent enough, it works, that we should probably, you know, try to learn from each other's mistakes and learn from how each other play, or each of us plays, and then try to capitalize on that for our wars going forward. You know, 52-5-5 is not a bad record at all. Obviously there's a couple ties in there, maybe even a loss or two where we probably could have won. But shit happens, and we just want to keep getting better, and sooner or later we will, we'll all be masters at getting 2 stars, and then we start building on the 3-star consistency and getting people comfortable with doing 3-star attacks and getting those ready for clan wars. So what we can do then, in theory, is make sure we secure 2 stars, and then because we are so efficient at securing 2 stars with our attacks, after that point, then everybody or a majority of the people should have 1 attack left over to start 3-starring people. So in the next tutorial, and I don't know when I'll make that, I don't know if it'll be tonight or another day, but in the next tutorial what we're going to talk about are 3-star attacks and what we should be looking for in 3-star attacks and what makes them work and what makes them not work. And I can go over 2 light and day differences in my clan attacks. I know over the past couple wars to show kind of the difference between when things work and when things don't work. So I hope you guys found this informative, helpful. Hopefully you guys, have your brains churning. You can kind of take some key things and try to work on them next war and in the future. Let's keep plugging along, and let's get to 100 wins, clan level 10, be the best damn clan in the United States, and just take it down from there. So thanks, guys. Again, let me know if you have any questions in chat somewhere, and hopefully I can help you out. Peace.